You know what's crazy? The same garlic that's been healing people for thousands of years is also sending folks to the emergency room. And I'm not talking about vampire attacks here. I'm talking about real medical emergencies that happen because of three mistakes almost everyone makes. Look, I love garlic as much as the next person, but after digging through dozens of medical studies, I've got to share this with you because chances are you're making at least one of these mistakes right now. Mistake number 1, putting raw garlic on your skin. So here's mistake number 1, and it's honestly the most shocking one. People are putting raw garlic directly on their skin, thinking it'll cure everything from warts to infections. And what happens? Chemical burns. Actual medical-grade chemical burns. I know what you're thinking. Come on, it's just garlic. How bad could it be? Well, let me tell you about a case that was published in the medical literature. A woman in England tried to treat athlete's foot by wrapping slices of raw garlic on her toe. Instead of healing, the garlic burned through her skin so badly she ended up in a doctor's office with severe blistering and tissue damage. This isn't some one-off freak accident either. A systematic review that analyzed 32 medical papers found 39 documented cases of garlic burns. Most of them were second-degree burns. Some patients needed actual burn treatment. One person had a burn develop in less than 1 hour. Think about that. Less time than it takes to watch a movie. The science behind this is actually fascinating. When you crush or cut fresh garlic, it releases these volatile sulfur compounds. The main culprits are diallyl disulfide, allicin, and allyl propyl disulfide. Now these compounds are amazing when you eat garlic in reasonable amounts. But on your skin, they cause what doctors call coagulation necrosis. That's a medical term that basically means your skin tissue is dying. And here's what makes it worse. Some people wrap the garlic in plastic or under a bandage, which creates what's called an occlusive environment. That's like creating a pressure cooker for these chemicals. They penetrate deeper, work faster, and cause more severe damage. Medical reports show that children and infants are even more vulnerable because their skin is thinner. Now here's what really gets me. In many cultures, this is still recommended as a home remedy. A study found that people use raw garlic topically to treat everything from toothaches to knee pain to warts. But the medical evidence is crystal clear. Fresh, raw garlic on your skin is playing Russian roulette with chemical burns. So what's the fix? Simple. Never apply raw garlic directly to your skin. If you want to use garlic for its antimicrobial properties, there are safe garlic-based topical medications that are properly formulated. But crushed garlic cloves? That's a hard no. If you've got a skin issue, see a dermatologist. Don't become another case study in a medical journal. Mistake number 2, eating too much raw garlic on an empty stomach. And this one hits close to home because I used to do this all the time. Eating raw garlic on an empty stomach, especially in large amounts. You've probably heard the advice, right? Eat raw garlic first thing in the morning for maximum health benefits. Here's the problem. Your stomach is basically a bag of acid. And when you throw raw garlic into an empty stomach, you're creating a perfect storm for some serious digestive chaos. Research published in studies on garlic consumption shows that raw garlic significantly increases gastric acid secretion. One study on rats demonstrated that garlic extract at typical dosages elevated stomach acid production substantially. Now you might think, okay, so what? A little extra acid, big deal. But hold on. When that acid production ramps up and you've got nothing else in your stomach to buffer it, several things can happen. First, you're dramatically increasing your risk of acid reflux and heartburn. The compounds in garlic, particularly allicin, can relax your lower esophageal sphincter. That's the muscular valve that keeps stomach acid where it belongs. When that relaxes, you get acid shooting up into your esophagus, causing that burning sensation we all hate. But it gets worse. Medical case reports have documented something called garlic-induced esophagitis. There was a case of a 60-year-old woman who swallowed sliced raw garlic, and it caused such severe direct injury that when doctors did an endoscopy, they found bullous necrotic changes in her esophagus. That means the garlic was literally causing tissue death in her esophagus. Another case involved a man who swallowed garlic with minimal water for a hypertensive attack. 12 hours later, he was in the hospital with severe chest pain and odonophagia, which is painful swallowing. When doctors looked inside, they found garlic stuck in his esophagus and a damaged edematose, fragile mucosa. Now here's the thing that surprised me when I was researching this. Raw garlic on an empty stomach can also cause nausea, abdominal pain, bloating, and gas. Why? Because garlic is high in fructans, which are a type of carbohydrate that many people can't digest properly. When you eat it raw without any other food, it sits there fermenting in your gut. So what's the fix? First, never eat large amounts of raw garlic on an empty stomach. Studies suggest that eating 1 to 2 cloves of garlic per day is generally safe and provides health benefits. But eat it with food. Have it as part of a meal, not solo. Second, consider cooking your garlic. Cooking reduces the concentration of these irritating sulfur compounds, while still preserving many of garlic's beneficial properties. A lot of people don't realize this, but lightly sautéing or roasting garlic makes it much gentler on your digestive system. And if you're someone who already has acid reflux, gastritis, or any digestive issues, talk to your doctor before making garlic a regular part of your routine. For some people with sensitive digestive systems, even moderate amounts of garlic can trigger symptoms. Mistake number 3. Taking garlic before surgery or with blood thinners. Taking garlic supplements or eating large amounts of garlic when you're on blood thinners or about to have surgery? Here's what most people don't realize. Garlic has legitimate antiplatelet and anticoagulant properties. That means it affects how your blood clots. Under normal circumstances, this might even be beneficial. Some research suggests it could help prevent blood clots. But here's the catch. When you combine garlic with medications like warfarin, aspirin, or other anticoagulants, or when you're about to have surgery, this becomes dangerous. The National Institutes of Health and multiple medical studies have documented that garlic can significantly increase bleeding risk. There was a documented case of a person who regularly consumed about 12 grams of garlic daily, which is roughly 4 cloves. When they had surgery, they experienced increased bleeding during the procedure. Here's what makes this particularly tricky. A lot of people don't think of garlic as a real medication. They think, it's just food, it's natural, what's the harm? So they don't mention it to their doctors. But surgeons and anesthesiologists need to know about everything you're taking because it can affect how your blood clots during and after surgery. The medical guidelines are very clear on this. The National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health states that if you're taking anticoagulants, aspirin, or any medication that affects bleeding, you need to talk with your healthcare provider before using garlic supplements. And if you're scheduled for surgery, most doctors recommend stopping garlic supplements at least 7 days before the procedure. So here's the fix. Be completely transparent with your healthcare providers about your garlic consumption. Don't assume they'll ask. Tell them, especially if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, clopidogrel, aspirin, or even NSAIDs like ibuprofen. If you have surgery coming up, stop taking garlic supplements at least a week before. Even better, ask your surgeon specifically how long before surgery you should stop. And after surgery, don't resume garlic supplements without clearance from your doctor, because you need your blood clotting normally during the healing process. Look, if you're just using garlic in cooking, you're probably fine. We're talking normal culinary amounts here. The real risk comes from supplements, garlic pills, aged garlic, extract, or eating multiple raw cloves daily. That's when the anticoagulant effects become medically significant. Here's the bottom line. Garlic is incredible. The research on its health benefits is legitimate. Studies show it may help with cholesterol, blood pressure, and even has antimicrobial properties. But like anything powerful enough to heal, it's powerful enough to harm when used incorrectly. So remember, never put raw garlic directly on your skin. Never eat large amounts of raw garlic on an empty stomach. And never take garlic supplements if you're on blood thinners or before surgery, without talking to your doctor first. The goal here isn't to scare you away from garlic. It's to help you use it safely and smartly. Because when you respect what garlic can do, both good and bad, you can actually benefit from this amazing ingredient without ending up in a medical journal as a cautionary tale. Stay safe out there, and if you learned something today, drop a comment below. What's your biggest takeaway? And if you got a garlic horror story, I want to hear it. See you in the next video.